स्मार्ट हो रहा है इंडिया, जैसे इंडिया में बना एलिस्टा स्मार्ट एलईडी टीवी with world-class clarity and amazing features.
So much has been talked about the home World Cup exit and then in the recently T20 World Cup South Africa. I was there at that press conference Sophie Devine gave. So how did the team reflect on it and how did you guys face that challenge and what are things you guys looking forward to with two World Cups coming up, 2024 T20 World Cup as well, the ODI World Cup in 2020?
Yeah, like the 50 over World Cup, every game was so close and we really competed and things didn't quite go our way, and we just talked about our mentality and stepping up in those crucial moments. And then South Africa, in those first two games we didn't even compete, so that was really heartbreaking and disappointing. But I think if we're completely honest, when we look back, you know, there wasn't a lot of things go our way. Sophie obviously had been injured in the lead up, and that was probably not that helpful for her form going into the World Cup, and it made us make a few changes throughout the tournament. And with the bat in those conditions, you know, we just didn't fire, and those were the two games early on in the tournament. And, you know, we knew South Africa and Australia first up were the crucial games and we couldn't perform. So after that, we did a bit of soul searching as a group, but I think the way we responded and gave ourselves a chance, you know, was really positive, and we picked ourselves back up. But look, we know leading into Bangladesh that you've got to turn up from game one, and that's all we'll be talking about as a group, because, you know, we think we're good enough to make semi-finals. We know we're good enough, and that's the goal when we go to those tournaments.
Yeah, very well said. So talking about the current series and the ICC Women's Championship, for that you have to qualify for the 2025 World Cup. You had a disappointing series against Sri Lanka with rain and 2 losses. So how do you look at it, and what are things you guys need to do going into the future matches of the Women's Championship?
Yeah, we've put ourselves on the back foot. It was also unfortunate we played Bangladesh at home and there was rain-affected matches. And then coming here, some rain-affected matches, and Shamari Ashpatu sending it into the crowds. So look, we've made it tough for ourselves, but I actually don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because we're going to be playing every 50 over game, no matter who it's against. And up until India, it's going to be a pressure game, and that's what will prepare us for those pinnacle events. So Ben Sawyer's well aware what we need to do. With 3 one-days at home against Pakistan plus 3 one-days away against South Africa, you know, we are going to aim to win all 6 of those to help put us in a better position. So yeah, one-day cricket for us now is going to be a real focus, and you know, I think we've been reasonably successful in series in 2020 cricket. It's now making sure that we get our combination and balance right for our one-day side. So yeah, Ben's onto it, Sophie's onto it, and unfortunately we've let ourselves down against Sri Lanka and Bangladesh a little bit, but at the end of the day, this whole group wants to be in India, and that's a long-term goal.
So recently England and Australia played that exciting Ashes Test 5-day Test match. So it is unfortunate that Suzie Bates hasn't played a Test match so far in her 17-year career. So how do you look at it? Is there a sense of disappointment?
Yeah, look, the time that it does come up is when the Ashes is on, and I watched those games, and there's a little bit of envy when I see England take on Australia, and the fact that those players get that opportunity to test themselves over 5 days. So part of me sort of watches and imagines being out there. There's another part of me that understands that the global game has grown so much because of 2020 cricket, and I wouldn't give that up for anything. So I do understand that, but I feel now more positive than I perhaps have ever felt, because there's a lot of pressure from other boards that Test cricket becomes a part of the women's program. So I haven't given up complete hope. It's looking less and less likely, but regardless if I get to play, I just think there's a real future in it for the women's game. We've seen those multi-format series really grow the interest of the game, and I feel like because of the amount of cricket that countries are now playing, that Test cricket's going to be a real spectacle. So I just hope that in the future that the top 8 nations in women's cricket get to experience that, and whether I'm around or not, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see you in whites.
Yeah, although I don't mind I'm not a huge fan of the whites. I don't think it's the most flattering colour, so we'll see what happens.
White or color, anyway, we always enjoy watching you bat or bowl or field.
Thank you.
Yeah, so talking about your long career, 17 years, or how many more years we are going to go. I hope you go for a lot more years. So how do you want people to remember Suzie Bates?
Yeah, first and foremost, I just want people to remember me as a great teammate. Early on in my career, I was very focused on goals and scoring runs, and look, that's still important. I want to contribute every game I play in, but at the end of the day, I want people to remember how I made them feel, and if that is really confident and supported on the field and made them feel like they could go out and do anything on the field and I always had their back, that's the most important thing. And if they speak about me as a great teammate that they miss having around, then I think I've done a pretty good job. And at the end of the day, I'm driven by scoring runs, and that's what gives me a lot of satisfaction. So for me personally, I want to score as many runs as I can, but as a teammate, just that I was a really positive influence on the group.
स्मार्ट हो रहा है इंडिया, जैसे इंडिया में बना एलिस्टा स्मार्ट एलईडी टीवी विद वर्ल्ड क्लास क्लैरिटी एंड अमेजिंग फीचर्स।